Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, depending on when you are watching my 5-minute magical live. I am just waiting for Instagram. There we go. Perfect. We are streaming. Yay. Okay, so welcome everybody to the Magical March live. This is creating magic in your March with my tips, tricks, hacks, training, wisdom, insights on all things magical, spiritual, that empower you to create more magic in your life and in your business through March. So these are 5-minute-ish sessions where I am sharing information. So this week we're going to do all about pendulum. So I'm going to dive straight in and I'm going to talk about pendulum alchemy. Now, just to give you a little bit of context, I am a certified pendulum alchemist. I have certified under Eric Hunter's Pendulum Alchemy certification, which was fabulous. Eric Hunter is amazing when it comes to anything pendulum related, and he has the most amazing, beautiful pendulums going. But what is pendulum alchemy, first of all? Similar to Akashic alchemy, crystal alchemy, any kind of type of energy healing modality, you are going to be an alchemist. In fact, we're all alchemists. Our physical body is an alchemical machine that we have at our disposal because we are constantly taking through things through our system and transforming energy. And that's basically what an alchemist does. It transforms something from its current state into something new. So it transforms, it alchemizes, it transmutes. And so pendulum alchemy is creating that transformational state. It's instigating a transformation that we want to happen. We're activating the transformation that we want to happen through the form of our words and a tool, which is the pendulum. Hi, Julie. Good to see you here. So you didn't know there was such a thing. Oh my gosh, yeah, certifications and everything. Yeah, so I became a pendulum alchemist, well, certified pendulum alchemist a couple of years ago. But yes, check out Eric Hunter for that. But I was using pendulum way before I did Eric's certification. So the thing that I love about a pendulum is it's a fantastic way for you to connect in with your intuition in a very practical and hands-on way. It's a very visual thing. So obviously we have a pendulum and you can use anything as a pendulum. So for instance, if I was to get out the key pendulum that you would get with the card deck, the Akashic Oracle card deck, I send you a key that you can turn into a pendulum. And so you have a form of connecting in with your intuition, your higher self, your guide, your team in spirit, whoever it is that you intend to connect with, an angel, guardian angel, your inner child. It could be your shadow. You have a way of connecting through something like this, which, you know, we term as a pendulum. And it is a physical form of you using your intuition. So what I love about using a pendulum, a little bit like oracle cards, I suppose, or tarot cards, is that you're not really second guessing the information that you get, because you can actually see that when you ask a question, you're getting the answer. So you're kind of not needing to rely on really sharp visualization skills, for instance, or having really good auditory, clairaudience skills to get messages that way, or, you know, really heightened clairsentient skills where you can feel into your body. The pendulum shows you what the answer is. Now, the pendulum, it's not the pendulum itself. I just want to add that. It's your physical body and the nerves that are in your physical body that are actually moving the pendulum. The pendulum is not going to move on its own. It's an innate object, but we facilitate the movement whilst we're connected in with the higher realms or with our higher self, or as I say, an aspect of ourselves, such as our shadow or inner child, to get that wisdom, insights, and guidance. So Pendulum Alchemy, there's a couple of things to Pendulum Alchemy. So that's just kind of just a little bit of information about the pendulum and why I love it so much. Pendulum Alchemy itself is about instigating the change, or it's about getting those answers, getting that insight, getting that clarity. And you can do that in a number of ways. You can do that through good questioning skills, where you're asking questions, where you rely on either getting some kind of movement which your physical body is creating. So this is my yes movement. It goes clockwise. Show me my no movement, and it's going on a diagonal backwards and forwards. I don't tend to use maybe as a movement, although you can get maybe. If I was going to do maybe, it goes backwards and forwards in a straight line. But you could also use charts, and there is lots of really amazing sites that have fabulous charts. So if you are not really kind of there with your movements yet, and this takes practice, and the more you practice, the bigger the movement will get, then you get yourself a chart, and you can start in a very simple way with a yes and no chart with percentages on it, and you can ask your questions from there. Now, what I would say when you come to asking questions, ask empowering questions, not ones that are kind of disempowering. You want to kind of empower yourself. You don't want to be, you don't want to be disempowered by a certain question. You want to kind of think in a more positive, ask your questions in a positive way, not in a kind of disempowered way. So where you're kind of really giving your power to the external. It's for me, so it's kind of like, should I stay in this relationship? That's a really disempowering question, because what you're doing is you're putting your mercy to the external kind of communication of what a response site is. What would be more empowering is, what is the percentage alignment? So if we go to this, inside chart here, what is the percentage of alignment of me staying in this relationship for this to be successful and empowering, or, for my highest good, for instance? What percentage would it be for me to stay in this relationship for my highest good? That's a much more empowering question. And then what you can do is you can use the chart and ask to show me the percentage of that. So it showed me 70%. I have no idea what relationship that is, but I get 70%. So you can kind of ask questions like that, depending on what charts you've got. I mean, you've got a chart here that's below it that has kind of got like more detailed questions that you can ask. This is in particular good for going into the Akashic Records, so you can connect in with what kind of guide you're connecting in with, or what kind of clearing that you need to do. So that's one way, is to get guidance, get insight, get wisdom through the form of a key that you have in your hand, or a pendulum. And this is your third dimensional, very physical, practical way of connecting in with your intuition. There is no guessing here. It's giving you the information. This is an alchemy, though. So what else the pendulum can do is to heal. It can activate, it can unlock, it can enhance, it can release, it can clear, it can transform. And that will depend on the way that you spin your pendulum. Hi, Tracy. Good to see you. Good to see you here. And so your pendulum, I would always encourage you to get a good pendulum, and I'll explain tomorrow why that is. But we want to create transformation, good transformation, aligned transformation with great words and commands, but also the quality of the pendulum. And that's because it's doing two things. Your words are spells, so you're putting those words out as individual thought forms, energy forms that are being a command. We're commanding it. So straight away it goes out into the quantum field, it goes into the Akashic Records, your Akashic Records, and maybe the Akashic Records of somebody else, if it involves somebody else. But then the spin of the pendulum is adding a vortex of energy in the quantum field as well. So you're double layering your magic. by using the two together. Now, if you've got a really good pendulum, so you could do that with the key pendulum, and this actually is fine for doing that type of work. This actually gives off an orange light into the quantum field. If you're getting beautiful pendulums like this that Eric Hunter sells, then they all do different types of light. Light that obviously we can't see with the visible eye, but it's light that goes off into the quantum field. And so your words on them by themselves are strong. A spin of a pendulum adds a second layer, and then the reflection of the light that comes off the pendulum is a third layer. And it's the vortex of energy that you're creating from the pendulum spin, which you may have to actively create, that is creating the magic. It's similar to everybody congregating into a church. You've got the church spire, which is an antenna for your intentions and for the words and the prayers and everything that has been spoken, spelled out, that transmits into the universe through that spire up into divine source, into the cosmos. The pendulum creates that same energy with the spin. So that's what we're doing. So we're creating a mini spire church kind of setting without the religion, and we're putting that intention out as a transmitter. So there's lots of layers to pendulum alchemy, and that's why it can be so potent. There's no guarantee with pendulum alchemy, but there's no guarantee with any energy alchemy at all. But what we do is we greatly, elevate the results of what it is that we want to create or release or change or heal. We greatly increase the outcome. So that's why I like to mix akashics, pendulum, obviously our commands, our spelling, with the vortex and with the quality of the pendulum. I'm going to max out what I can when I'm doing any kind of energy healing. And so this is why I'm sharing all these techniques with you. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about pendulum alchemy, what it is. It's about transformation, changing from one state into another. I've talked about the pendulum itself and how it's your 3D physical form of your intuition that you can see. And I've explained a little bit about how to use it for questions. And then we're going to talk more. We're going to talk deeper about doing the alchemy work tomorrow. I could, oh my God, I'm probably way over 5 minutes. I could talk on this for hours, but I'm going to leave it there because I want you to come back tomorrow and we can talk more about pendulum alchemy. I'll also share a website where you can get all of these amazing charts. I've got my own charts as well. I've got a big, massive folder of charts. I've got charts everywhere. Charts, start gathering your charts because they're really, really useful and they really help. But they also just really raise your curiosity about doing this type of work. And that's what I would say is have an open mind and be curious about using the pendulum. It's amazing. But I'll talk more about doing pendulum alchemy tomorrow in terms of healing and activations. And we'll carry on this conversation through the week. So I'm just going to see if there's any questions. Thank you, Julie. So Julie has done vortex moving with her hands. Well, yes. Now I will actually talk about, we don't actually have to use a pendulum because our body is also a transmitter and that can be used as a pendulum as well. And some of you actually may be more familiar with actually doing pendulum healing or pendulum movement and tuning in to your higher self and your guides through the body. You can use your arm as well. But we'll talk about that on another day. Oh my God. Where's it good to get a pendulum? Okay. Viola, a good place is Pendulum Alchemy. Eric Hunter, I have at least 20 of his pendulums because they're fantastic. I will also talk about tomorrow the differences between crystal and metal. I would not recommend a crystal pendulum, and I will explain why tomorrow. Only metal, only with a cord, but I will explain why that is tomorrow. But pendulumalchemy.com is where you need to go. Eric Hunter is the guy who is all things pendulum and pendulum alchemy. Okay. Excellent. Hi, Mary. Good to see you here. I'm just going to see if anybody's on Instagram. No messages there. Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me on Facebook and Instagram. And I'll see you here tomorrow at 6 o'clock to talk more about pendulum alchemy. Okay. Love and blessings, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.